we go.
Tension right there. You got that all right. Welcome back to the channel, guys and girls. If you're new, welcome to the channel. I'm sitting right here with one of my Paylake poles. I'm going to be re-rigging it because me and a couple guys plan on making a trip tomorrow to a new Paylake. So I'm sitting here re-rigging, making sure everything's good to go, and I was going to just kind of show y'all how to do it and how I do it and what I use, how I use it, and all that stuff. So maybe it helps you. I'm going to try my best to do it while recording. I don't know how well it's going to be, well it's going to do. But yeah, first off, I took all my stuff off my line, my bobber, my stuff, all this is what I use. And then of course there's some stuff in there like the bobber stops that I haven't got out yet. But this is basically how I started. Okay, just get your line, whatever. Of course, mine's braid, so get your line with nothing on it. This is gonna be interesting. Okay, now get your bobber stops. Of course, I use the pack I use comes with yellow, red, black. So that's what I'm gonna be using. I like to use 3 on braid. Well, everybody's different. I like to use 3 on braid. If I was using mono, I'd only use like 1 or 2 because mono's thicker. Well, the 30-pound test is thicker. Braid is a small diameter, but it's a lot stronger. So I'm going to be using 3 of these. I'll just use 1 of every color. Why not? But here, this is how I like to do it. These are super handy because they come with a little yellow tab, and then they come on a wire. So it don't matter, you can start off using however much you want, whatever. That's how I do it. Get an individual little strand or an individual little bead. They come with wires right here, hose in the wires, so you can feed it through. Just feed it through, bring it out a couple inches like this, a couple inches through. Okay, now bring it through here, just about 6 inches, 4 inches, it don't really matter anyways. Okay, once you have that, once you have a loop right here, then grab this, barely grab it. I hope this my last time my wire come off. Barely grab it, pinch it to where it's touching the braid, the monofilament, or whatever you're using, and then you're gonna just slowly pull it on, and then pull it all the way down to the end till this line pops out of this line, and there you have 1 on there. Same process for the rest of them. I'm just gonna go ahead and quickly do that real quick. Depending on what size line you're using, some are a lot easier to use. Like 30-pound test is a lot harder to get on there. It took me forever to do it when I first started doing it. So now they have that. You just pull you at about a couple feet of line, so nothing interferes with anything. Okay, and on this one, I'm gonna be taking. I know this is probably a waste to some of y'all, but this is how I do it. I'm gonna take these. I'll buy my stinking pliers out here. These little foam rubber bobber, not rubber, but the little styrofoam bobbers. You can get them anywhere at Walmart. They're little cheap things. They're called I think the indestructible bobber, I think that's what they call them. Anyways, you can get these, and I'm just gonna take these are kind of hard to do with. Get them? Well, hang on just a second. There we go. You're gonna pretty much break them. To all the left is this right here. That's all you need. That's all you need. Take the rest of it out, the spring, then the metal and stuff. Now before you do that, don't forget another important little part are your beads. Now for the first two that go under your bobber stops and before the little ball, I use a small bead right here and a big bead. The small beads just pretty much stop your bobber stops, whatever, from getting caught up in that thing. So put that on there. Pretty self-explanatory. Just put it through the hole and slide it on. Then you can run this thing on. Maybe. Sometimes it's hard. Sometimes you gotta twist it and turn it and flip it and flop it. So hope it don't start storming while I'm doing this. But then, now that that's on, you can either put another bead under that, or you can just run your bobber straight on. I'm just gonna run my bobber straight on. I'm using I think this is a 12-inch. It's got a weight at the bottom. Just a standard slip bobber, but I put tape on it. This is probably the most tricky part, honestly. Is if this thing does not want to go through, it can get pretty tricky. Now mine come all the way through. Sometimes this little silver bronze piece right here, whatever clip, the line wants to get stuck on the inside lip of it, and you have to sit there and twist or poke and twist and all that. Sometimes, but sometimes it works. Like this time it worked pretty good. So I didn't have to do no fancy anything. Okay, then you're gonna run, after your big bobber right there, you're gonna run a big bead. Okay, then I think this is, I think, an ounce sinker. I don't know for sure what weight sinker. Then you're gonna run your sinker of choice on. And then another big bobber or big bead like this. You're gonna, well, yes, you can run it on, and that just pretty much keeps your sinker from banging the far out of your bobber. Right here, just, you know, pretty much protects it, and then your one on the end protects. And then you put a big one on after the big bobber, and the smaller one on after the big bead. Now let's play a lot of steps, but it helps. And that protects for when you put your swivel on. I have a swivel right here. You know, just the barrel swivel, whatever, just connect. Then you're gonna connect a barrel swivel. And that big bead just pretty much protects the knot from right here. I mean, it don't protect it fully, but it helps a lot. I didn't count how much swivels or how many turns I did. I just kind of go with the flow. This is the only thing hard about this. Might have to lick it or get it wet. Wait, it'll stay together. Pull it through. I just use a standard knot. Don't use nothing special. Okay. And then show you how that works real quick. See right there. It don't protect it fully. I mean, it's still, the bead still goes over it. You can use a smaller bead if you want, but the bead still goes over the knot. It just protects it a little better because it would, so that bigger bead would swallow that. I mean, it still does, but it's whatever. And then of course cut your excess off. I'm using these. I got these at Walmart. The Repellas scissors. They got the serrated edge and they cut braid like no other. Easy. If you ever use braid, you know it's a pain in the butt to clip. Hang on just a second. Okay, sorry, I'm messaging some buddies. Anyways, once you got all that done, and then now it's time to start through your leader. Now I was gonna use the line I already had, but I actually went through an old tackle box yesterday, and I found a lot of reels of trilene line. I love using trilene, so I'm going to be using some leftover trilene 30-pound test. So this is what I usually use on leaders, anyways. And the trick with leaders is you don't want to use them too long, and I'll show you why, or tell you why. If you use leaders that are too long from this line, and when you go to throw, sometimes the hook will actually get caught on this right here, and it won't sink down right. It'll just pretty much, it won't float or anything right. It'll just get hung right here, or it'll get hung up here, or if you're using a light, get hung on the light, and that's just no fun. So I like to use, you know, I get a 12-inch bolt. I think it's a 12-inch. I think it might be 10-inch. I can't remember. So I like to use about a 6 to 8-inch leader. You know, it don't really matter. And then I went and got some more hooks today. I know I'm using, you know, I don't want to sit there and measure everything, but I mean that leader right there is pretty good. I don't want a super long leader. I mean, everybody's got their own preference. It's just easier for me to use a shorter leader because it don't get hung up as easy. So it don't look too long, but it works for what I need it to work for. I'm about to get piss poured rain on too, so that's always fun. So once you get that done, get your leader, tie it on. You're pretty much set after that. I might have to cut a different leader because this one I think is too short, honestly. Maybe after I stretch it out, it might not be too bad. Yeah, I think it'll be fine. Oh, we'll see. It's not like it's gonna matter. I'm gonna give me a different hook. I went and bought some bigger hooks today. I know I know I said I didn't like circle hooks, but I'm gonna give them a try here shortly. I went and bought me a bunch of different size hooks today, from catfish hooks to, these are 8/0 circle hooks. So never hurt to try new things, new hooks. These are 6/0. These are 6/0. There we go. I'll try these. These are just, I think these are actually 5/0 6 cents ox flipping hooks. I'm gonna try those. They're flipping hooks, but whatever. Just wanna try one of these. Hooks are expensive too. Oh, no, mercy, they're expensive. I'll probably have to do this one and do my other setup, the different on the porch, because it's gonna piss pour the rain on me. So, and I like to use a wide hook, where the catfish will get its mouth and won't have no problem hooking it, especially with bigger catfish. I like using a good size hook, because you never know And that one's not gonna stay. Dang it. Sometimes they stay and sometimes they don't. It sucks when they don't, because then you get a big nasty thing. I'm about to redo this leader because it's too short. Sometimes you just can't help it. Here's a little longer leader, I guess. I don't like to, but I'm gonna have to in this situation. Because sometimes it's just easier to tie hooks on. Okay. Sometimes you just gotta, yeah, whatever. I'm pretty fast. The only reason I use a leader on braid is sometimes you fish in a spot and you get hung up on a log or get hung up on a fish even sometimes, or you know, just whatever might happen. I know Tim's has got a lot of pay lakes I go to have aerators. Sometimes you get hung up on an aerator or a cable or something along those lines. And if you have braid, depending on what pound test you, or any braid for that matter, braid is really stout, really strong. So yeah, it should be good. Really strong. So I use a mono leader or a mono leader or a monofilament leader or a braid, just a leader that's not braid like this. So in case I do have a situation where I get hung up or something, I can actually break my leader and not have to worry about breaking my main line and losing all my whole setup, because that's just no fun. But anyways, that's fun to drop. Anyways, that's pretty much my setup. I reeled in and let you see. I know I made a video like this before. I'm not gonna adjust my depth right now. I'll wait till I get to the lake and see whatever. Cause I like to either hit the bottom of the lake and then bring it up about a foot or 6 inches to fish right off the bottom. Excuse me. For flatheads, or just like to go about 10-12 foot deep, depending on how deep the lake is for blues or whatever. But there's my full setup. Of course, I done showed you how I do everything. So there's the hook, there's the leader, and then the beads, sinker, the bobber, more beads, and then up here, of course, is the bobber stops or the whatever. Yeah. So that's pretty much my setup and what I use and how I do it. Everybody's got their preferences, whatever. If you use live bait, I've sometimes used live bait. I put a straw on the end of it. I'll show you what I mean by straw. Some of you may know. But this little doohickey right here, it's a bobber, but it's literally got a straw onto it, and I think they come like 2 foot long, so you can trim them off however you like. I usually trim them off to the same size or a little shorter than my actual bobber size. It just, you know, because if a lot of times your live bait will take your main bobber all the way under and then pop back up. So, you know, if you're using a straw, if a fish takes your main bobber and then your straw under, you know it's more than likely a big fish. You know, something that swallowed your bait fish and not just your bait fish taking off. So I hope this video helped you all out a little bit on how to set up a pole. You don't have to be a big Jaws pole. It could be any pole like that. You can open face poles. You can use the same setup. I can't remember what they're called. Yeah, I'm about to get rained on. Shoot, the little 606 poles at Walmart, the ones got the big handle on them. Them are a little harder to use. I haven't found a setup that I could use bobber stops on those. I'm gonna go on my porch I haven't used the bobber stop setup I could use on those. I mean, I'm not saying it's not possible. I'm just saying I haven't figured out how to do it because they're set up a little differently, because they're in a confined space, so they're set up differently. But if you found this video any little bit helpful, be sure to hit that subscribe button, hit that like button, leave a comment down below how you set your stuff up. Like I said, if you use deadline, you can either use straight line, hook, and then bait, or you can use your main line with a sinker and then like a 2-foot secondary line, like I did. You can do it that way. I've seen people do it many different ways. I've used deadline before. I just don't particularly like that type of fishing. I like to see the bite, see the hit, whatever. But everybody's got their different ways of fishing. So, like I said, if you found this video any little bit helpful, liked it, leave a comment, subscribe. But I'll try to post a video tomorrow of whatever Paylake we go to. But yeah, until then, I'll catch y'all later. Stay dry. Peace out.